Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lulu Marie and I want to start something new on this channel. It's been kind of dead and that's because I've been really uninspired, and I feel like just doing makeup on camera, I feel like I don't really have much to talk about. So I decided to give myself something to talk about. So I was sitting down thinking and talking about like all the things that I like to talk about, and me being American, I'm like, okay, I like celebrities, I like talking about celebrities and things like that, but the one thing that I feel like I love to talk about that a lot of people don't are the kind of tragic side to celebrities, and especially the ones who died. So I was in the car with my sister listening to Juice Wrld, and I was just so sad because I was like, you know, to so many people he's just another kid with a drug problem, but in reality he like had a lot of mental illness and things like that. And I was thinking about the stories that not many people get to hear, so I decided, hey, why don't I, you know, do research, put that story together, and tell the people those stories. So here I am. I'm calling this segment Celebrity Cemetery. Something catchy, but also I just think it kind of fuses together the ideas of like being a celebrity, their passing, and what that story actually means for them, you know. So just a little disclaimer, I'm going to be talking about subjects of suicide, self-harm, substance abuse, and I mean no disrespect to anyone that I talk about, and I mean no disrespect to any of the families of these people that I'm talking about. This is just purely my belief and thinking that everyone, celebrities, drug addicts, you know, whoever deserves their story to be told, and hopefully I can do it justice. So yeah, this is Celebrity Cemeteries. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the tragic passing of Gerard Anthony Higgins, also known as Juice WRLD. Gerard Anthony Higgins was born on December 2nd, 1998 near Calumet City, Chicago, Illinois. At a young age, Juice WRLD, and I'm gonna call him Juice WRLD or Juice in this video, and just because that is what we know him as, is his screen name or his stage name. So that's where I'm gonna be calling him Juice instead of his given name. At a young age, Juice's parents divorced, leaving his mother to raise him and his older brother as a single parent. As a child, I'm sure you can imagine, Juice was known to be a very musical child. He taught himself how to play the drums, the guitar. It was said that Juice's mother growing up was the very conservative type, so he wasn't allowed to listen to rap music or hip-hop music, which yeah, he wasn't allowed to listen to rap music or hip-hop music, but he was allowed to listen to rock music, which I kind of think is funny because growing up, it was kind of the opposite for me. Like, I was never not allowed to listen to anything, but like in church, it was always seen as like rock music is like the devil music, you know? And so I think it was funny that the mom was like, oh, you can listen to rock music, just no rap or hip hop. And I'm guessing it's because they lived in Chicago and she didn't want him to like be like hood and shit, but that's just me speculating. I'm not like, that's not facts, I'm just, you know, thinking out loud. But anyways, he was allowed to listen to rock and alternative music. This led to him, this led to Juice's love for that genre. Some of his biggest influences growing up were Billy Idol, Blink-182, and Fall Out Boy. So same over here, same over here. After seeing Tupac's iconic movie Juice, that is where he adopted the name Juice the Kid. So before he was known as Juice WRLD, he was known as Juice the Kid. And this is where he began his experimentation with the kind of fusion of music that we know him for today, that fusion of hip-hop and hip-hop, rap, and rock alternative music. Even being a musical child, his mother noted that at an early age, Juice was showing signs of struggling with anxiety and depression. It was said that he showed signs of mental illness as early as 11 years old, and even perhaps earlier. Despite these struggles, Juice Wrld rose to underground fame through online forums such as SoundCloud, and things like that. His mother said that from a young age, Juice turned to music as a form of escape from his mental illness. If you are a fan of Juice's music or have listened to it, you can kind of guess that mental illness became a common theme in his music. In one of his earliest hits, All Girls Are the Same, he says, "Fuck sipping, I'ma down the whole bottle, hard bottle. I'ma down the whole bottle, hard truth, can't swallow. Need a bartender to pour me out of my sorrows." Or to put me out of my sorrows. Here, Juice expresses his struggles with coping with mental illness, as well as using alcohol in order to help medicate and cope with the things he was going through. So in his music, he hinted at these issues with mental illness and with self-medication. Despite having a huge underground success, Juice WRLD's breakout hit was Lucid Dreams, that peaked at number 2. It was released on May 4th in 2018. Peaked at number 2 in the Hot 100 list, and is one of the most, to this day, one of the most streamed songs of all time, hitting over 1 billion streams on just that one single. Lucid Dreams depicts Juice going through a breakup, and while kind of going through the breakup and coping with it, he is abusing drugs in order to deal with the heartbreak. The music video depicts a sort of like acid trip haze. So if you've seen the music video, it's very colorful, it's very kind of trippy looking, it's very much like kind of an acid trip. If you've ever done acid or seen other things that mimic the kind of visuals that you would get with an acid trip, he depicts that in his Lucid Dreams music video. And yes, Lucid Dreams, it's also depicting dreams, but it kind of reminisces acid, if that makes sense, and taking acid. So in that song, he says, "You left me falling and landing inside my grave. I take prescription drugs to make me feel okay." So as you can see here in another song, in his breakout hit, Lucid Dreams, he does talk about, again, using drugs, and now prescription drugs as opposed to alcohol, in order to help cope with the issues that he is going through at the time, specifically heartbreak, depression, and anxiety. His music being extremely autobiographical, it is said that he began to self-medicate in order to deal with his depression and anxiety as early as the age of 14, smoking marijuana, drinking alcohol, things of that nature, in order to help him cope with the side effects of having mental illness. In a statement to TMZ, Juice WRLD's family said that his music is not meant to promote drug use, but rather than to help those battling with an addiction not feel alone. And me, as a personal level, that's one of the hardest things dealing with mental illness, is that feeling that you're alone and you are going through it alone, and you're having to deal with the stuff that's going on in your brain alone. And so his music was an attempt to help make people feel as though they're not going through their mental illness alone. Later in his music video, Lean With Me, which is one of my favorite songs from Juice WRLD, in his music video, he refers to mixing cough syrup with a soft drink. So the song is titled Lean With Me, a kind of a reference to the song Lean With Me, Rock With Me, but it's also referring to lean, the soft drink that is a recreational drug mixing codeine, cough syrup, and candy, as well as like grape soda, typically things like that. So in this music video, Juice is shown participating in a 12-step recovery program. So the music video concept is him going through rehab, kind of like you would if you were a part of like NA or AA, things of that nature. So Juice's Lean With Me video shows him going through a 12-step program for addiction, which to me shows that, at least through his music, he's trying to express his desire to, you know, get sober, not only in his music but also in his personal life. He was expressing to his fans and to his family how he, you know, had a desire to be sober and to, you know, try and stay sober in his everyday life after years of self-medicating with prescription pills, pretty much. So in the song Lean With Me, he says, "Girl, you hate it when I'm too high, but it's where I belong," which to me is like one of the saddest sentiments, because it just expresses how, like, even though the people around him are, you know, are noticing that he's not the same person because he has this addiction, but he doesn't feel like he belongs anywhere else, like he deserves to be happy, or he doesn't feel as though he can exist in another state. Like him living in his addiction was worse than being sober and dealing with his mind. Like, that's fucking sad, dude. That's sad. That's sad as fuck. So anyways, Juice WRLD's music expresses a loneliness that often comes with fighting with a mental illness, anxiety, and depression. Again, I'm someone who does suffer from anxiety, depression as well. And so when it is really bad, it is very lonely. It feels very, very lonely. And so I understand, like, that loneliness he expresses in his music. Like, sometimes that loneliness can feel just so hurtful, because it feels as though no one else can possibly understand, and you feel so alone. All right, can I do eyeliner and talk? I'll be right back. It was clear that, you know, Juice was looking for a way to escape and get help from his addiction, and what started as a way to cope and a way to medicate became the thing that caused his anxiety and depression. It became almost a self-destructing cycle. So in the beginning, his anxiety and depression, and he had just anxiety and depression, and then he started taking drugs to medicate, and then his addiction became what gave him anxiety and depression. You know, it became a cycle of sorts. I think I repeated myself, but whatever. In a live video to his fans, Juice assured them that even with the money and the fame, he still dealt with the mental struggles he did prior to the money and the fame. According to the National Drug Institute, those struggling with mental illness are twice as likely to develop a drug addiction, It's common that a lot of people who have addictions is because they are dealing with mental illness and they are finding ways to cope with that mental illness. Just days after his 21st birthday, the world was brought to its knees when the word of Wrld's apparent overdose was announced. On December 8th, 2019, Juice was aboard a private jet from Los Angeles to Chicago's Midway Airport. The pilot tipped off the police, stating that there was several pounds of drugs and guns on the plane. So he was an op. Juice got the word that police was waiting for him to arrive. Later on, the police reported there was allegedly about 70 pounds of marijuana and several unknown pills aboard the plane. After allegedly swallowing an unknown amount of pills in order to conceal them from the police, sitting next to his girlfriend, Alicia Leon, Juice suddenly began to seize and convulse. First responders administered 2 doses of Narcan, which is a drug used to resuscitate people who are dealing with an overdose to opiates. When that was unsuccessful, Juice was pronounced dead. Medical examiners found toxic levels of oxycodone and codeine in his system. One of the saddest parts of this was just a few days prior to Juice's passing, he promised his mother to enter a rehabilitation center for his drug abuse. The funeral took place on December 13, 2019 in Harvey, Illinois. Many family members and collaborators, such as Ski Mask, the Slump God, was in attendance. Many people noted that Juice predicted or possibly manifested his own death. In his song Legends, he states, "What's the 27 Club? We ain't making it past 21." And if you don't know what the 27 Club is, it's essentially a club of musicians that passed away because of drugs and alcohol and other reasons when they were 27. And in his song Lean With Me, he says, "Told her if I die, I'm gonna die young." Numerous celebrities have spoken out after Juice WRLD's death. Travis Scott said, "You will live forever." Also, Drake said, "I would like to see all the younger talent live longer, and I hate waking up to hearing another story with blessings cut short." There's no denying the impact that Juice had on the music industry in such a short time, but it's also, you know, important to note his impact that he had on people who were also dealing with addiction, anxiety, depression, substance abuse, and self-medicating. He was such a young soul and a beautiful soul and writer and musician that he impacted so many people in a short amount of time that he was making music and interacting with his fans. So that is the story of Gerard Anthony Higgins, aka Juice WRLD, and his tragic passing. His tragic passing due to an opiate overdose. And yeah, that is the story, the real life story. He wasn't, again, the reason why I felt like it's important to say this story, and I'm gonna continue to do this story, these stories, is because I feel like so many people, especially drug addicts, get, you know, this thing where it's like, well, he was just a drug addict, or yeah, no one told him to do drugs, and blah 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 blah, when it's never that simple. Someone's story is never that simple, and I just think it's important to, you know, tell the story. And if you haven't heard about Juice WRLD or really knew his story, hopefully it can give you a new perspective on who he was as a person. And he wasn't only another kid in the music industry that, you know, was just doing a bunch of drugs for fun. He, you know, dealt with severe mental illness from when he was a baby, you know, when he was 11 years old, and he didn't know any other way to deal with that, especially with his mom being a single mom, her not having as much support as other people would, you know. But yeah, that is the story. And if you like the story, or not necessarily like, but if you enjoyed me telling this story, please leave a like and a comment, and please subscribe for more videos like this. And if there is a celebrity you want me to talk about who had a tragic passing, please leave that in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.